Hey guys, this is Mario from shockingfit.com. I am here in downtown Vancouver. It's a beautiful rainy day, as you can see here. We don't get always the nice pretty weather. And I just decided to shoot a quick video. I had a conversation with one of my flatmates today about an interesting topic, and we kind of discussed, so again, coming back into what is the key predictor of someone's success in the fitness world? Like, what is the key predictor of someone's success in general? And a few things came up, and one of the things that really stood out, and once we did our research a little bit, and I often watch TED videos and all sorts of speeches by guys like Ty Lopez, R.C. Tyler, or any other guy who's like into self-development who I can relate to pretty well. There's a bunch of, it's a huge list, so I don't want to name everybody here. But the point is, I think I came across one of the concepts that I think are the key, even more than any other concept that I've ever spoke to on a video before. So we talked about talent, we talked about intelligence, we talked about knowledge, talked a little bit about knowledge as well. All of these things are nice, right? All of these things are amazing, and people who do have knowledge, they have a massive advantage to succeed in this area of their life, especially when it comes to nutrition and dieting. You know, knowledge plays a massive role there. But what about, I guess, talent? Again, we debunked that myth by reading books like Bounce, Talent's Overrated, The Talent Code, The Winner's Brain. Like, all of these books talk about how talent is not that important compared to hard work. So you've heard about the 10,000 hour rule, and what is actually important, right? If it's not talent, if it's not knowledge, if it's not intelligence, what actually makes a difference? And by analyzing myself, I mean, I've coached over 100 clients in the past year, and simply analyzing the clients, I went, okay, look, someone has to have done research on this. What is the key predictor of success? And I came across this interesting study by, I think her name is Angela Duckworth. She did a TED Talk as well. And they compared multiple things that are predictors of success in people. And she found out that grit is the key component when you put everything else equal. Let's say family income, your childhood, intelligence, IQ, social intelligence, everything put equal. Grit was the major differentiator between the guys, the girls who succeeded and those who haven't. So in the study, what they did, they actually went to West Point, and they took I think 2,400 candidates to join the military, so the United States Army. So they put them through a ruthless training, like the initial training, the evaluation of their performance and all that, it's like hell, right? And once they found out who were the guys who managed to go through training, get actually accepted, it turns out that grit was the main indicator of who's gonna stay in the program, who's gonna plow long enough through all the pain, through all the bullshit, everything they throw at you, like running around like 40 kilos of gear on your back, like running up a hill every single day, like training like 12 hours a day, doing all these drills. It's fucking insane, right? And I'm actually gonna link that full study below in the video if you guys are interested in reading that, because I found it super interesting. They also did a comparison with high school kids, and they also did like, I think it was something related to linguistics. And every single study turned out that grit is the main thing that was a predictor of success. So what is grit? What the hell is grit, right? It's a personality trait that I would pretty much not know how to define myself. So I went into Wikipedia, and I took out the definition from Wikipedia. So let me read that out to you guys. So it says, grit is a positive non-cognitive trait based on an individual passion for a particular long-term goal or end state, coupled with a powerful motivation to achieve their respective objective, right? So you can pretty much summarize that into perseverance and passion for long-term goals. It's a pretty interesting concept, right? And not a lot has been said on this. I think I personally would associate grit, if after I read the definition, it kind of reminded me of that movie, I think it's called Cool Runnings, you know, when the Jamaican team, the guys who wanted to compete as a runner in the Olympics, one of them got injured, and they met this coach who had kicked out of the United States bobsled team before, and then he recruited him to compete as a bobsled team, and Jamaica was never competing in Olympics on that, and they really wanted to compete at Olympics. So they went through all this pain. They recruited guys, like one of the team members got disowned by his father. It was like a massive drama. It's an amazing movie full of lessons. I think it's come from the early 90s. And it was a big classic back in my country in Croatia. It was amazing, and everybody watched that, and we were really hyped up when we saw that. And throughout that movie, you can actually learn all these lessons about not giving up, persevering, working on those small daily wins, hustling really hard, training. And imagine like a team from Jamaica, it's ridiculous, they entered the Olympics. So in that movie, I actually learned the concept a little bit, and it just kind of reminded me back. And you can pretty much relate this concept to all other movies, like, I don't know, Rocky would be a good example, or if you're into anime, a great example would be like from Dragon Ball Z, if you know the character Vegeta, right? He's like the prime example of grit. He's just working hard and having the long-term perspective, right? I'm gonna be better, better, non-stop better. You don't wanna be like Krillin or something. You guys who are probably in the Dragon Ball Z, you know what I'm talking about. You don't wanna be the Krillin guy who's just giving up non-stop, right? So you wanna be the guy who is persistent, who's like crushing it and just working hard step by step, putting in the work, putting in the reps, right? As Arnold Schwarzenegger says, it's all about reps, reps, and reps. So coming back from that, that's kind of what we got out of the conversation today, is like, okay, there's all these cool examples as you grow up what grit is. And coming back now, I don't think I could actually point out any TV series or any movie that would actually point out the display of really good grit. So I had to go way back into the 90s to find that. So that's kind of interesting. I honestly believe that society doesn't teach us grit. I mean, you can rarely get any kind of insight from society. Okay, there's two choices. There's the easy choice, there's the hard choice. You should go for the hard choice. And it's usually like, okay, how can I make it more convenient for you? Like there's like a 7-Eleven every 2 meters, so you gotta buy your little sneakers, you know, it has to be convenient. And the society is primed to make it all convenient, make it easy, online order, make it the least amount of work you have to do. That kind of destroys that mental toughness aspect that is key in succeeding when it comes to managing your nutrition, managing your workouts. And it's the guys who kind of develop that mental toughness throughout some other journey or throughout some hard self-disciplining, they manage to succeed and they manage to get the most results, at least in my programs. I mean, you probably know that there's a bunch of programs out there who don't give a fuck about grit or anything like that, obviously. I mean, but the success rate for anything out there is like in probably like a handful, and maybe like 5 to 10% of people actually succeed. So going back to the point, how do you actually develop grit? Now that we define the grit, you know, define the personality trait, you probably can identify grit as like maybe like an actor like Clint Eastwood, you know, he would be like a prime example. But how do you develop that? So there's a few strategies I kind of reverse engineered, because it's really hard to find strategies how do you develop grit. And I feel like the number one strategy would be small daily wins, where you deliberately choose to do something that's harder as opposite to like taking the easy road. So a great example when it comes to this strategy would be why cold showers are so popular. Like, it's not really that the cold shower has that many health benefits, but it actually develops that mental toughness that allows you to stick to your goals and allows you to stick better in to reach the other goals in your life, right? It develops that toughness muscle. And the strategy number two, as I said before, like it's a muscle, right? It's a same as any other muscle, so you have to keep challenging it. And those small things, those small wins, those small harder choices, you actually get used to them. So as your comfort zone expands a little bit, for example with cold showers, you might be just doing that for like a few months and then it's no longer works for you. So the second strategy would be to build on that, to build on, let's say, a cold shower, and to take something on that it's even more challenging. So you keep building that muscle, because there's really, I mean, it's very hard to define the end of mental toughness. You can pretty much get as tough as possibly can. And if you kind of analyze your life, you look at people who are the most successful people in your life. If you analyze guys who own companies, guys who are successful in, like, I don't know, have pretty good businesses or anything else, you will realize that these are the people who went through a lot of shit in their life. These are people who struggled a lot. These are guys, girls, women, men who went through a lot of trouble to get to where they are. And you'll maybe meet someone that you feel like, okay, this person, if they put up their mind to any goal, they'll achieve it. And you know that person is just tough. You know that person has integrity. And that would be strategy number 3, right? It's I would define this strategy as like every time you make a promise to yourself, you hold that promise, right? You don't break that promise. And that builds up something called integrity, right? And it's not integrity when it comes to dealing with other people, which is the most common integrity that you heard about probably. It's like the integrity, okay, so I don't want to let my friend down. I don't want to let my teammate down. Or I don't know, I'm going with a guy to the gym, and if the guy calls me up, I'm not gonna be, hey dude, I don't feel like it today, I'm gonna go, right? You wanna have integrity in that aspect. But this is a different type of integrity I'm talking about here. And this one is the integrity with yourself. And that is, I feel like, one of the most crucial things that one can develop in your life. Is that holding that promise that you made to yourself. Because you do make these promises to yourself non-stop. Every day you're like, okay, I'm gonna go to the gym, and then you don't go to the gym, you just get weaker because you broke that integrity with yourself. And then eventually you completely lose the ability to hold on to stuff. You become one of those program hoppers, or people just go and hit it for a week and then they just give up. And that's the case of a lot of people, right? And I feel like building that integrity with yourself, taking small actions and really holding on to it, even buying yourself into stuff before you feel like you're ready. Let's say you want to do yoga. Let's say you pay up front for a whole year of yoga and you schedule it in your week before even being ready. So you kind of buy yourself in, and then you don't have an option. You don't have an option to quit, right? If you quit, I mean, the pain of quitting is probably going to be larger than the pain of actually doing the class. And that's the position you want to put yourself in. So that will be very critical for the strategy number 3, is put yourself in a position where it's actually easier to maintain that integrity with yourself than to lose that integrity by not doing the committed action. And in general, just watching this video, I'm sure that you kind of made a few ideas that resonated with you, and that you kind of heard me talk about some stuff that you feel like, okay, damn it, this is what I've already noticed that people do, but I never really put too much attention to it. Because I mean, what are people gonna think, right? Okay, what is success? You ask them, okay, what is success? Well, it's, oh yeah, that guy is super talented. His family like brought him up. He gave him all the money. He can just go and practice golf or tennis or whatever, and that's why he's successful, right? Or if someone is a little bit more advanced, they're gonna tell you, oh yeah, it's family, it's all that thing, but he really did put in the reps, like he really did put in the work. But this is the next level, right? This is the level that you don't need anybody else. This is simply you versus you. This is developing yourself in a way where you have that mental toughness that allows you to achieve your goals, not only in fitness and nutrition. You know, that's really not the only thing we're talking about here. Once you develop that mental toughness, like, the world is yours for the taking. Like, you can have whatever you want. You can achieve anything you want. And the mental toughness muscle translates in all the areas of your life. Like, you can easily put that to work in your business, in your social skills, and anything you want, because it's just that universal concept. Your brain doesn't know the difference between going to the gym and I don't know, writing an article for your blog. The brain doesn't know a difference. It just knows that, okay, there's some form of resistance, and I'm not tough enough to break through that resistance. So I hope you guys learned something from this video. I mean, it's a very passionate topic, and I'm digging deep into grit, and I found this few interesting books from basketball coaches and all these guys who talked about that. I'm actually gonna dig deeper into it, and I'm planning to make a little bit more videos on this specific topic, because I feel like, at least judging from the research and my own experience, that this is the key predictor. And I hope you guys realize that as well, and that you want to be proactive when it comes to building that personality trait. You want to become that person, build that identity, as we talked about in the previous videos. It's all about the identity, and if you build up that identity of the person who has grit, and of the person who sticks to their goals and doesn't disappoint themselves, because in the end, who are you watching when you wake up in the morning, when you take a piss, and when you brush your teeth? Who are you watching in the mirror? You're like looking at yourself, right? So you don't want to disappoint that person in the mirror. That's the person that counts the most. That's the person you want to keep the integrity with, not like some random person you said, oh, I want to do it, or use that app where you kind of make a bet with someone and then you lose your money if you don't go to the gym, right? So you want to keep that bet with yourself. That's the most important person, because if you feel comfortable with yourself, you feel like you're enough, you don't need anybody else. You don't need gym partners. You don't need motivation. You don't need to watch. You don't even need to watch this fucking video, right? If you have developed that toughness, this video is useless for you. But I'm just talking from my own experience that it took me ages to develop that, and I still went off track at various points in my journey. I admit that. I mean, I did go off track and I lost a little bit of that toughness, but it's easy to get it back once you've achieved that one time. So, as I said before, if some of these ideas resonate with you, and if you feel like this concept is actually something that you're interested in and you want to discuss a little bit and share ideas, definitely leave a comment below. Let's talk about, let's share some good insights with the community, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Hope you enjoyed. Having a good time here in Vancouver. It's shitty weather, but compensated by other good things. So I'll see you guys in the next video, and have a good day. Peace.